Introduction. Inflation is a sustained increase in overall cost of goods and service, reduce the purchasing power of money. In 2023, Malaysia faced high inflation of 3.3% due to factors like high demand, increased money supply, rising production costs, and external influence. Inflation is influenced by supply and demand, dynamic manufacturing costs, and regulation and expectation.
The economic theory of inflation assesses the money supply curve is the case of inflation. The economic theory of inflation assesses the money supply curve is the case of inflation. Faster money is the result of faster money supply expenses. The inflation rate increased by 1% for every 1% faster rise in the money supply. The money supply and price level have a negative relationship when or neither factor and head question. Next, the literature review effect of inflation. According to William Phillips, in 1958, the United Kingdom experienced an exchange between unemployment and inflation. Since that, the Phillips curve has been used to explain how unemployment and inflation are negative relations. Furthermore, past research by Ari Tunku Razali 1988, which examined panel data for 1988 to 2040, found the government spending has to statistical impact on inflation. As a result, the widely accepted the theory the government spending has a benefit impact on inflation can be rejected. Next, Monet and Manso 209 show the economic development can be both positive and more important is low inflation situation, where it is generally negative is high inflation environment.
And now I will talk about discussion about inflation. The inflation increase in the price of various items is the reason why the rate of inflation for 2021 is greater than long-term inflation average. 3.3% increase on November 2021 is influenced by various goods, primarily for food and non-alcoholic beverage, water and electricity. However, government subsidize these commodities, lower the manufacturing costs, and cause the aggregate curve to move to the right.
Policy recommendation. First is maximum price policy. When the government sets a maximum price for fuel and raw material, the price of fuel and raw material cannot be increased. Second is fiscal policy, which is budget. The government can carry out fiscal policy by changing the amount of expenditure and taxes imposed to stabilize the economic situation. The step to carry out fiscal policy is that the government should reduce spending. By reducing government spending, it will reduce aggregate spending. This situation will ultimately reduce inflationary pressure.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sushafini Alam bin Robi with the metric number S67169. So, the conclusion of the inflation in Malaysia is when the consumer index period (CPI) increased during this period. Consumer goods price increased because of the inflation rate. The most common cause of inflation is an increase in the money supply. The list of the standard product is compared to get the change in the currency value over time. The result revealed that inflation has a significant positive impact on Malaysia's economic growth. Specifically, in the long run, an increase in inflation will lead to an increase in GDP by 0.01%. Conversely, the interest rate has a significant negative impact on GDP in the long run.